on-page optimization. And again, a big problem we often see with a lot of folks, they do it the other way around. They optimize their web pages based off of keywords without a sense of whether or not there's any volume for them, or they're relevant, or at the various stages of the buyer's journey. And so as I've now have a good kind of blueprint, and let's call it a keyword blueprint, right, for a lack of a better definition, I can now tackle on-page optimization. And what is that? What are the three main areas I want to make sure are optimized? URLs, page titles, and meta descriptions, right? And again, meta content, additional information. Additional information for who? For search engines, right? And here's the HTML, and for those who aren't HTML savvy, this shouldn't be scary, right? So the page title is this guy right here, right? So for this company, they're going after MSDS solutions, right? And they're putting the keywords within their page titles. Their meta description is this guy right here, right? So they're kind of defining what that page is about within the additional information for search engines. So here are the three kind of main areas that are important from a meta content perspective. And again, we'll look at where Google pulls that information on a web page and kind of define it a little bit further. So, and again, we're talking about tackling on-page optimization now that we've identified what keywords make sense, we've mapped them to the right pages, now it's time to optimize on the site itself. So during my last kind of web clinic, I went through an example, and I've been referencing it more and more because it's beautifully done in terms of optimization. And we looked at SmartVault, and they were going after the term secure file sharing. Right now, based off of looking at some of and defining what a solid SEO foundation is, they already went through the process of identifying the keywords, then they mapped them to the right pages, and often what will happen is you'll say, okay, I don't have a best fit page, I might need to create a new page specifically for that term. And that's exactly what these guys did, right? They created a secure file sharing page where they optimize it well from an SEO perspective. They got the keyword, and I've highlighted it here, and they mentioned it 8 times, one of 8 times, on this page. They got it within the header tag, within the H2 tag, and a couple times within the content, and even below the fold that I wasn't able to get in the screenshot here. All right, so putting yourself in Google's shoes, I read this website top to bottom, right to left. It's within the page title, it's within the header tag, it's within the content with synonyms and related terms. So this page is about secure file sharing. Got it. Right? And again, a couple of those 200 variables that Google's looking at. So kind of taking a step back, here is the search results page, right? So I just took a screenshot of the search results page to show you where Google is pulling certain items from, right? So this is the page title on the top here, and they have secure file sharing. Here's the URL, right? So they're pulling that. And then here's the meta description underneath where they have secure file sharing mentioned a couple times. Here is the HTML of that page, right? And they use WordPress, and they use the heavily used Yoast SEO plugin. There's also the all-in-one SEO pack, and we definitely work on a lot of WordPress sites. And one of the steps we do is, hey, do you have the right plugins so that we can optimize this website? And so here's their meta description that they're pulling, right? And then here is their the meta description, and then the page title right here: Secure File Sharing for Business SmartVault. And there it is: Secure File Sharing for Business SmartVault. So often they'll put keywords first, and they'll put branding second. And again, we've done some tests. The order of where you put keywords can and does make an impact, right? So on-page optimization defined right here. Hopefully that helps demystify where Google's pulling some items from. So now as you kind of see this, and for some this is news, for others it's like, okay, yeah, I went through that process, but then did you do the first step, which in my opinion is one of the more important ones? What keywords make sense based off of putting yourself in your customer's shoes, mapping them to the right pages, then doing your on-page optimization. Right, and often it's an order that a lot of folks get wrong. All right, so then kind of going one step further in terms of tackling on-page optimization, where you link, and again, 200 variables Google's looking at, getting links from other websites to reference your website is super important, but also important is then linking within your own website. And what do I mean by that? This is a way to thematically group pages around keywords. So if I mention certain keywords that I care about on my homepage and I link them to the right sections of the website, the way Google is able to go from page to page is by hitting links, right? So when they hit a link about mobile whatever, then you send them to the mobile section. Google says, I got it. This whole section is around mobile. And I'm able to kind of build a theme around certain keywords by strategically linking within the content. And I'm going to jump off and show you how Zappos does this thing, and it's quite interesting how they go about doing it. This is also a way to create quality content within each section so that it relates to a larger keyword theme. And then finally, linking pages within the same group to further strengthen the theme of that website. So let's look at how Zappos does that internal linking, right? And they actually do a very smart job. They do it systematically, and they have a big web team on their that work for them. And so what they do very well is within the actual comments section, they use a plugin, or they built one where based off the keywords that they care about, they'll automatically internal link those keywords to the pages that they mapped based off their website. So, this guy who made a comment on the Keen Mercer Lace 2 CNX, hey, it's a comfortable and cute, or probably a gal that wrote this, good runaround shoe that's cuter than running shoes. And notice where they're internal linking that in the bottom left to the /running shoes page. So this is a way that they're Google in creating that theme, right? So when Google spiders the Zappos homepage, they hit running shoes. They say, you want me to funnel me to the running shoes section of the site. Got it. Right. Same thing. We go down a little further here. Athletic shoes, and again, this is a system optimization that their team have done here. Am I recommending you guys do this? No, absolutely not. But I'm showing you as an example of how some teams do it, right? So I bought MB Athletic shoes internal linked to the athletic-shoes page, further building that strong theme around it. That's another one of the variables that Google's looking at.